Hey guys, Derpy Moose 99 here. Today we're going to be playing Banished. This is Banished with Megamod 8, which is just a wonderful mod collection from Black Liquid Software. We're going to play on hard, on flat, and very mild for the climate. I want to try and grow this big, maybe, or big for me anyways, 1500 would be a great target. I'm going to be doing lots of trading and want to get started here. So let's have a look at where we're at. All right, we have a really good start here, I think. We've got a lake, we've got the trading river, we've got a smaller river that we can use, a little hill. All right, let's get going with a gatherer's hut. I'm going to put it down here out of the way, and we'll build a little town center, maybe trading area over here. But first, let's try not to die in the first 10 minutes. So there's a gatherer's hut. I'm going to build a little forest node here. Let's get a Forester's Lodge. The one with the tower, I always like that one. Okay, you go in there. Next thing I want to preset up here is Hunter's Cabin. Now there's a whole bunch to choose from, but this is the one I kind of like for now, at least anyways. Let's get, okay, a road coming up. We'll take it right up to the cart. It's going to be fairly long to build, but I think it's worthwhile because they're going to be going back and forth the cart a lot in the beginning. All right, Hunter's Cabin, Gatherer's Hut, Forester Lodge. Next thing we want is some stockpiles. We want a 4x4 in here. And we're going to pull that out. I'm going to put a small barn. Probably this one, I think. We'll put it there. Then we're going to put, or at least pre-build, some housing. And we're going to go, I think we're going to go with the log cabins. I like the one with the kind of the overhang or the awning on the porch. So we're going to pre-place 6 of these, one apart. Okay, oops. Now let's get the ones on the other side here. 6 seems like a lot, but I found that the forest nodes work really well with 5 or 6 houses if you fully populate them. And to start with, we're going to need, well, on hard, we need at least 4, but I found that quickly grows into 6 or 7 even. So, all right, we've got the 6 here. We're going to pause all of them. Now we'll pull up to our sort of holding section here, the one log cabin that's beside the gatherer's hut. Okay, next thing we're going to do is build a few more stockpiles. We wanted something out here. I'm going with 5x8. Okay, and we're going to prioritize that one so I don't forget. Now let's put a few more around here because we're going to be doing a fair amount of resource collection. These will just be temporary ones. We want to make sure that they're not like that one. They want to be ones that we don't have to build. So let's find some open territory. Okay, now we're just going to spread these all over the place, like I say, as temporary ones. Put a big one there. Over here, these are going to be in the way later when we develop, but for now we're going to be doing a lot of resource gathering. And what we don't want is a lot of wasted time for people walking around looking for a place to put stuff. All right, I'd like to build some more around here, but we can wait a little bit later for that. All right, now we've got that pre-positioned. We'll worry about a wood chopper in a minute. I think what we'll do now, let's put the time on 10 before I forget. Okay, let's gum up the screen here. Now, I like to have lots of things open on the screen, so if that's something that bugs you, I apologize, but it's what works for me. And hey, we're all different, so do what works for you, I'll do what works for me. And by the way, I've played this a little bit, but I've just scratched the surface, so if anybody has any suggestions or other ways of doing things other than what I do, I'd really appreciate some positive feedback in that manner, so thank you in advance. All right, that's open, that's open, that's open. Okay, before we unpause here, I am going to designate some trees to be slain. So let's start with that and some rock. Now it's quite a bit, but we can make sure our workers are doing what we need by prioritization. So I'm just gonna save it here. Old school, I'm used to crashes and stuff, so I want to make sure it saves properly. Let's put 3 workers in because we have a fairly long road to do. So what I want to do here is when I unpause, I want the workers to build the road, and the laborers to collect trees and rocks. And hopefully by the time the road's finished, we have enough trees and rocks so we can start working on building the gatherer's hut, log cabin, and the barn. Once that's done, we'll do a woodcutter. Okay, so let's get her going and see if I can get us all killed in the first 10 minutes or if we can squeak through. Okay, first stockpile. All right, now get lots of trees and rocks, boys and girls. Okay, you can see the workers building up the road. Rocks and trees are coming. Everybody's going for a snack. Delicious potatoes. Okay, road's done. Let's start getting some food coming in here. So we're gonna go gatherer's hut, the log cabin beside the gatherer's hut, and where's the barn? And the barn. Okay, guys, you go over there, and you go over there. Now, the reason I picked that one house is in order to survive the winter, we only really need one house to start with. They won't breed or anything, but a place to go for food and a place to get warm is all they need. So one house, the gatherer's hut, and the barn is where the gatherers will place the food. So that I found is a good start. Then we'll worry about fuel and tools. Okay, guys, I should get a horde descending here. Okay, looks like we now have 10 adults, which is cool. Okay, log cabins coming in. Okay, let's get the gatherer's hut and the barn. By the way, I know hitting the priority more than once doesn't do anything, but I just enjoy it. Makes me feel better. Let's turn off that. That's kind of annoying. Okay, get those potatoes. Okay, barn and gatherer's hut. There's the barn. Hut me, guys. Okay, well, that's working. Now, you notice I put a sawmill in. You might question that because it's a lot of resources. 110 logs uses up a fair amount of your starting resources. But I found it's pretty cool because you can put up to 3 people in it, and it does lumber as well as firewood. So we have 683 food. I am a fair amount of people, so I'm going to put 3 in the gathering hut to start with, and we're going to work on the sawmill now. All right. Not picking up as much stone as I would have hoped, but okay. Now I'm probably going to put a barn here. I think we're going to do the blacksmith over here. All right, food is not great. I think we're going to go for another gather. Let's fill it up. Okay, now here's our sawmill. Now you can see you can go up to 3. For starters here, I'm going to go 2. And you got to make sure you put this on firewood because I've done this before where I accidentally left it on lumber and everybody died while they were waiting for firewood. So I'm going to bump this up as well to 300. What I want them to do is build a bunch of firewood, and then once we have a decent stockpile, I'm going to switch to lumber for a little bit. Maybe we'll even go 400 for now. So 2 at 400. Now we have 8 tools left. That's not going to last very long. We also haven't designated any metal yet, or iron ore, I should say. So let's get some designated. Um, there's a little bit more here. Actually, there's a bunch in there as well too. So before we start working on that, let us select this part. Let's prioritize this. That's some lumber, some stone, and some iron ore. Okay, guys, work on that. Okay, just gonna have a look here. We've got 11 iron ore. Not really enough to start with. Okay, let's take this chunk as well. All right, down to 7 tools. Firewood's doing okay. Food's doing okay-ish. Okay, I gotta think we got enough iron ore to start with. All right, guys, let's switch over and work on the blacksmith. All the kids playing. Okay. There we go. We got enough resources. Let's get her built. Firewood's okay. Food's ish. Okay. Now when the blacksmith is built, yeah, okay, you see they're getting coal, but there's one house. They all go to that. Everything's good. All right, blacksmith is done. Yeah, default's 50. We're gonna go for 25 because I don't want to use up all the wood to start with. And there is only 14 adults, so that's good for now. So rough tools, log and iron ore, 25. We're good to go. Now, logs aren't bad. Food's not bad. It's early winter. Houses or hunter's cabin? I think we're gonna go hunter's cabin. Gut says you kind of want to build the houses, but if you run out of food, tools, or firewood, you die. So let's secure the food situation. Yeah, they've picked up a fair amount of logs, so we should be good for that for a while. Just might designate a few more just in case. Although, do I want to expand over there? Okay, 14 adults. We're gonna need at least one more house than what we've got here. Okay, guys, let's get the hunters done. All right, we have 7 folks. I think let's max. Okay, now hunters cabins I usually ever max 2. I found that adding the third one does very little. I don't know if anybody has any differing view on that. Let me know, but 2 max. So we're going max food, or at least max capabilities for the moment. We'll try and build up a stockpile. Now 1300's okay-ish. I keep saying ish, but um, food, tools, and firewood is the death spiral, right? So keep an eye on those. Now let's build us some log cabins. Our firewood's pretty good, so if we use up all our logs, temporary will be okay. Um, so let's build some log cabins, guys. I think even let's take one out of the sawmill for the moment. Go up to 4 builders. What's in the barn here? 26%. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I have a tendency to move around the screen quickly. I'll try and limit that one. Okay, the cabin's coming in. We still got over 100 logs. That's looking good. All right. Stone's a problem. Well, let's highlight or prioritize the cabins and a bit of stone here. See if that helps. Okay. Okay, the cabins are done. Let's have a quick run through. Oh, 5 of the cabins are done. Like I say, let's have a quick run through. I'm just going to pause it. Okay, that's a nice couple. Okay, there's a girl there. 2 boys and a girl. Anybody over 10 is what I'm looking for. So we have a requirement for 3 more houses. So 1 here, and probably start. Just make sure I get that. So what I'm going to do for the second set of houses, I'm going to go salt box. Now, the reason for these is that for as far as resources go, it's lumber and stone. At this point in the game, I find that's probably the easiest, especially if you build one of, or only if you build one of these. But right now we have 273 lumber. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to briefly put this over onto lumber. And because we don't have any city hall built, I'm going to have to watch this. So I'm looking for 20 each for the salt box houses. So 40 to start with, and I also would like an additional 45 for school because we're going to build a 1-room schoolhouse, which is the upgradable school. So we're looking for 85 lumber, or if we get really low on firewood. Okay, let's continue building the log cabin here. Yeah. Put 1 more labor in to collect resources here. Logs might be getting a bit low. Okay, we got 10 lumber to start with, and our firewood's still okay. Okay, so let's just double check our count here. I call this running the houses. Early game micromanages to maximize your growth. Okay, so there's a boy and a girl there. I must have been seeing things earlier. It looks like we only need 1 more house. So I'm going to pause that one. This one can proceed. We definitely have enough for that. Food is 14. It's not climbing as fast as I would have hoped. Okay. Now I'm going to pre-position some stuff here while that's waiting. So we're going to do a roadless well. I pause it. And as far as schools go, this 1-room schoolhouse, I find it the best because you can upgrade it to a college, which will take 80. So I want to build a fairly large town here. And I find that you put a few of these around and you got good redundancy as well. So lots of capacity. And then if you have a disaster that takes out your schools, you don't lose all your students because having all your students dumped back into general population sets you back some fair amount of efficiency. So, okay, so now we have a house for every couple. We're starting to get some kids. Okay, there's a 5-year-old kid. So basically at this point, what I want to do is get the school up before The next kid hits 10. So we have some growth in the beginning, then kind of a lull in worker additions as we get people through school. So I just prefer doing the school at this time. And then the added efficiency as they go through school, I think they're 20, 25%, I can't remember the exact number, more efficient. So well worth doing. And it's a good pause, I think. All right, we have 83 lumber and our firewood's 172. So 88. Okay. So I think that's a good time to go back to firewood and we'll close that window because we don't need to see you for a while. Um, okay, so we're going to do the school, although we won't man it right away. What we're going to do is we're going to pin this one here. And when this child gets to be 9, we will staff the school and turn it on. Okay, but let's get it pre-built and pre-positioned. Might have noticed I haven't built a tailor yet. Tailor actually allows the people to stay out in the cold longer, which would be good, but our town is fairly small right now. And I found that the clothes they're wearing can last a while. So tailor is about the last thing on my priority list here. So we're going to do the school, pre-position that. We'll get the Forester's Lodge up and running and planting. Then we'll put in a tailor, and that'll be sort of what I would consider a successful beginning to get stable. Now the tailor maybe not required, but it's certainly an option. Okay, so here's the school going up now. Okay, like I said, we're gonna turn that one off until this child gets 9. And actually, I think I'm gonna stop the recording here. We'll call that session 1. I want to thank you for your time. Again, it's Derpy Moose 99, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you, guys.